Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to the Once Upon a Broken Heart Live. I am so excited to talk about this series. Um,
Same.
Issa, I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but if you want to introduce yourself.
Yay. So I'm Isa from the channel From Fantasy Books. I usually read and rate and do top tiers and top lists for fantasy books. And occasionally I do some book recaps, same as Jess. And I think we've been reading this series throughout this year, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think I have a little bit of guilt here with this book. If you don't like the conclusion, I think I'm gonna feel guilty about that.
Well, how do we want to do this? Do we want to say what we rated the final book?
Yeah.
Okay. So I rated the final book 4 stars.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
What
not
did
bad.
you rate it? Oh no.
I rated it with a 3.5 stars.
Okay, that's not terrible. I thought you were gonna say like 2.5.
It is not, but like I usually when I'm rating a book on Goodreads, I usually if it is 3.5 or something, I always round it up
Bump it up.
to 4 or like that. And with this one, it was like no, it stays with 3. So it's just like it does not really feel like a high 3.5 star read, which is such a shame of a conclusion. I think it makes sense in a way because I did not know this, but it seems that Stephanie Garber thought about this story with book 2 in mind. Like she knew what was going to happen in book 2. Like that was her end goal. Like she wanted
Oh.
whatever happened, well, whatever happens in book 2 to happen. And she built book 1 towards that book. So I knew that coming after a story that it's so amazing and that you've basically crafted and revolved and everyone is crazy about that, it's not an easy feast. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Like the overall series, I hope I like. The overall series is still kind of like a 4 to me.
That
So
was gonna be my next question is what and
yeah,
also in the comments, guys, you guys already started, but can you let me know what you ended up rating it? Because it seems like the ending wasn't super popular. But
no,
overall, as the series as a whole, what would you rate the series as a whole?
yeah. I think for me, it's kind of like a 4. I can even round it to 4.5 stars. I really, really like it. Especially book 2. I think there's such magic and the world of Stephanie Garber. It's like she has something. Like she writes in a way that feels beautiful and whimsical, and it has kind of like a touch of folklore even. But and like you feel magic, in a way, right? And her world, it's always so good, and the characters were very very interesting. Yeah, the conclusion didn't necessarily land for me, but overall it was good. How was for you, like the overall series?
I think the overall series as a whole, I think I would also probably say 4 stars, just because of Jax, honestly. But I agree. I think the world is you feel like you're in a fairy tale. Like I
Yeah.
think the world is done so well.
Yes.
But I also think that that's Stephanie Garber's strong suit.
Yeah.
Like, Caraval also had a very immersive world.
Yes.
So, okay, so let's see what we have here. We have I rated it 2.5. It's okay. Too much
Yeah.
Apollo. Okay, so having Apollo as one of the POVs, I feel like was a choice
Yes.
that I'm not sure I agreed with.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes. So I actually listened to this book. I think you did the same.
Mhm.
And the choice of having a point of view of Apollo, for me, maybe if I was reading, I would have maybe enjoyed it more because I definitely liked the point of trying, not spoilers, right, as of this point, but trying to see his point of view. um I thought that was interesting and how he reasoned, but the voice of the narrator, like he is an like an adult. He's clearly an adult man, and we are talking about 20-year-old characters. So when this narrator come either to narrate each of the male's perspectives, I thought it was so bad.
That is
Uh,
actually such a good point because I forgot their ages, and you're right, he is older. So I kept picturing Apollo in his like late 30s, early 40s.
he's 20.
the fact that he's younger actually makes some of his decisions make a little bit more sense,
Yeah.
because not that they do make sense, but he is more immature than I
Yeah.
think I was picturing because of that narrator. So
Mhm.
that's very
Definitely.
good point. I rated 3 stars, was disappointed.
Yeah.
This definitely felt the most YA, I think, in terms of pacing out of
Agreed.
3 books, I feel like.
Agreed. That that is kind of my take for this book. Like I still like and really enjoyed the world and everything, like the characters, but this one felt a little too whimsy and a little too young for me.
I agree.
And I'm like I love young adult. I love whimsical book. It's not that I don't like them, but it feel like at some point reading about the magnificent north was too much. I don't
I
know.
I agree with that. There was not enough Jacks in this book. I
Agreed.
very much agree with that
Me
statement.
too.
I would say 3.52. I was on the fence between 3.5 and 4, but I liked it enough. I think it did kind of wrap up everything pretty well. This is I realized that this is the second book, and the book I ordered is the first. I'm done. Take me.
I
All good.
see.
All the titles are kind of similar.
Yes.
Overall, I rate it 3.7-ish stars. So how would you say, because I didn't finish the Caraval series, would you say, what would you rate the Caraval series as a whole?
That's a very interesting question because I think it happened the opposite with in terms of the conclusion with Caraval. I think that Caraval lands in a way that it's very interesting. Book two and book three were for me the best. Like book two, book three, book one are for me how I would rate Caraval. Meanwhile, here it's book two, book one, book three.
Yeah.
So kind of like the ending felt, I don't know, more satisfying or fulfilling. So I don't know. I That's a very tough question.
I'm sorry, but you don't have to answer it right now. It's just like I feel like I need to go back and reread Caraval because I just read book one.
Yeah,
I didn't love it and I didn't feel the need to continue, but I've heard a
yeah,
few people say that the later books are actually
yeah.
where it gets good.
I still feel that Stephanie Garber's writing got better, and it does not necessarily feel more adult, but The Ballad of Never After, it's definitely like the best out of every book that I've read from her. So you have that, and the characters a little bit more nuanced than in Caraval, but the world of Caraval, it's very beautiful. I think I enjoyed more the world of Caraval than the world here, but I love Jax and Evangeline more.
I would have minded a couple of chapters from Apollo's POV, but he took half the story. I imagined this explosive love story where Jax fights for her. If I knew, maybe I would have liked it more. I completely thought that that is what this book was going to be. Was going to be Jax trying to get. I guess we're going to get into spoilers, guys. There's really no way of doing this without spoilers.
Yeah.
So, spoiler warning starting now. Yes, I thought that it was gonna be much more of Jax trying to save
Yeah.
Evangeline instead of Jax kind of having his own little come together. Like, I don't know. It was not what I was expecting for the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah. I same. Like I feel book two felt very intense with the emotions and everything. And this book was like Jax taking kind of like a step back in that sense, like trying to convince himself that it's better if he's away, which is a trope that I hate. Like,
So do
no,
I hate that trope.
like we've already moved from this. So
Yeah, I completely agree. That is one of my least favorite tropes, especially since like book two, I feel like really like they really came together. It was like a beautiful moment, especially with
yeah,
the ending of book two. I
yeah,
was not expecting, and especially what he does at the very end with like
yeah,
giving that like I never thought that was going to happen.
yeah, me neither.
I felt like book 2 started heating up and getting super intense. I was
Yes,
foolishly expecting book 3 to amp up even more, pulling an SJM. So for this one to fall flat was a bummer. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
me too.
I've had a few people tell me I can't believe all we got was a kiss, but it
Yeah,
is YA, so it's like I kind of get it.
yeah. I actually cannot imagine. Stephanie Garber like writing something spicy. Like
No.
after seeing her, like she's like I don't know, like she feels so cute and everything is like too whimsy and too, magical for the specifics of what happens. I don't know.
And I feel like book 2 kind of I feel like she could write it like a closed door scene, like alluding to it, but we didn't even
Yeah,
get that. I would have
no,
liked that.
yeah, agreed.
I hate the trope to fight for your woman. I can see what SG was doing though. It's the guilt he felt
Mhm,
himself. Yeah, I agree.
totally. Yeah. And it makes sense, right? Like he's convinced that she's going to be better, but no, it just we've already like she has already won his love, so he better just keep it. I just hate when they are separated and they seem like legit causes because she does not remember, but he does, and he's a little bit of a creep just watching her, which gave me Twilight vibes all over.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
Oh, I did have a question while I was reading this. Issa, for you.
okay.
Tamlin or Apollo?
That's a very good
Which
question.
one is worse?
I I think Apollo.
I think so too. I think Apollo might be worse.
Yes, like I know Scott and his friend Tam,
Yeah,
um,
'cause
like he
I
will
have
agree,
Cam.
but I think that Tamlin at some point, it's not that he redeems himself, but i- he feels at least for Farah, right? In here, we do see Apollo trying to think or trying to justify himself over and over and over. But at the end, and I'm not sure how deep into spoilers we want to go, but like at the end, when the time comes to see who is the one that Apollo loves the most, like I think he is more selfish than Tamlin in that sense.
I also can't see Tamlin just like full on murdering a kid and
No,
just having and like justifying it to himself as like that
no.
was the right thing to do. I think Tamlin did have good intentions. He just went about them the most wrong and messed up way possible. But
Mm,
yeah, I definitely think Apollo is
Apollo for sure,
yeah.
100% agree. Which
You
is wild. It's wild.
I will say the ending made me laugh. Did you call the ending? Because I 100% said it out loud what was gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah.
No. So no, I tried to not think much about the ending, but when
I had this question, and this is the question I was exactly gonna ask you. Do they explain this?
at some point I think they do. Yes. I don't I think it's talking with Aurora, I think is her name, right?
Yeah.
And she says that some like with the curse that they have over the written stories, that the curse got twisted a little bit. And it's not that he could only kiss like and not kill the love of his life, but the only woman that he will be able to kiss, it's one that will never love him back.
Yes. I
So
I got that, but he kisses Evangeline at the end.
yeah, but because of love.
But she loves him.
Exactly, because of love. Love broke that. Sorry. Yes, no. Then you are correct. I thought you were asking like why she was able to kiss it, but it seems that love cures it all. I think that's the point. Honestly, that love and hope are strong enough to just
I
break
am
the
one of
curse.
those people that needs that written out and explained in my book. Like I need
No,
to know
no,
how she
you're completely right. I can also have that. But I think isn't that why we get this point of view of course or the courses or
Hi, Tori, abort, we're talking spoilers.
super spoilers.
Yeah, you get off this line. We love you, but this is bad.
Bad. So I don't know. Now you need to now I don't feel as comfortable with what I thought I knew. But I thought it was because love was powerful and broke the curse.
Oh,
Mm,
maybe?
mm.
No, no, okay. I was gonna take that as the answer.
Mhm. So I think, well, this has already been shared, right? Like, but
Yeah,
Donata like kiss Jack, and she is not dead because
because she
she
didn't
seems
love
to
him.
be exactly. It's the only woman that has not really fall for Jax while kissing Jax. So I don't think like she breaks the curse there. I think it's because the curse as a thing thought they deserved it. Yes, that's why she kills. So she kisses him, and she does not die. But this does not explain why then Evangeline can kiss him.
Yeah,
And
because they even do a thing with her, like, almost dying, and then she's like, "Oh, I held my breath."
yes,
And then I
no,
thought we were gonna explain, like, why she didn't die, and it never happened.
no. Wait a second. I have my dog in the door. Just wanted to go outside. Just wait a
Yep.
second. Sorry, I'm back. Uh,
Guessing everything she hasn't explained, like, she wants us to make up answers for ourselves, like the apple.
like the apples. Which the apples I wanted the answer. It
Yeah,
kind of
we didn't get her oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. We didn't get a
no, but Evangeline ask Jax. Like Jax is like, ask me whatever, little fox. And she's like, what about the apples? And he's like, next. And it's like, what? Why did you like why did you wrote me here? Like I understood that it's because it was kind of like kissing because he's like, I don't need apples anymore.
oh, that's kinda cute. I didn't put that together, but that's a possibility.
It's a little bit creepy. But
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but it's fine. It's all good.
yes.
Yeah, I guess there are a lot of, like, things that answer I really wanna know, like, what broke
But
the curse because I
yeah,
feel like that's a big
I I really think it's because, or at least that's what Evangeline thinks, right? And that's what it's explained under her reasoning time and time again, that she is not going to die because she, it's hers and it's his and he is hers, and like it's true love, and true love it's more powerful than any other magic.
but she's
And
also wearing that amulet, the bracelet. Could the bracelet, like, stop her from
but I think that they could no. So I think that she can suffer pain, right? Like
Yeah,
Apollo does something to her and she's like, ow.
yeah.
So I think she can die. And Jax, it's not feeling anything back, right?
Oh, you know what? The curse couldn't have been broken because when he goes to kiss her that one time when he's lost his heart,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
bracelet does activate, and she's like, "Oh my god, he would have killed me." So I
Yeah.
guess the curse is still fully functioning at
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the end.
Yeah. I actually don't remember, but isn't the last chapter like the point of view of the curse or curses or something like that? And the curse no?
I
Or
don't know. I'm checking.
or time or legends or something like that. That's the epilogue, right? And we see like I need to stop following these two. They already have won their happy ever after, but other stories brew in the magnificent north or something like that. Isn't that happening? Like
No, that
they
100% is happening. I didn't read it. I'm now I'm now reading the epilogue real quick. Luckily, it's only 2 pages.
okay. I will drink my tea and open the door to my cat. Sorry again.
So it seems like it's just saying the curse wanted them to find a happily ever after and was
Yeah,
just like,
they're
yeah,
like it's the power of love.
okay.
Yeah, I know. That was the point. Like that was, I think, why. Well, not only, but why part of the ending felt a little bit rushed and a little bit too young. Like
Yeah.
again, love whimsy, love fairy tales, but just a story that has have us like really dying for them, we just conclude that very, very quickly. And it's just, I don't know, it's at the same time, it's the only answer. I cannot think of another ending. Can you? Can you think of another ending? Like, how would you have ended this story?
I mean,
I
obviously, I want them to be together. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how. I feel like there was another way of like going about it without making Apollo turning Apollo.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not a writer. Stephanie Barber, like
No,
I think she ended it the best way. I just wanted things to be a little bit more fleshed out in terms of
yeah,
like,
agreed.
yeah.
I I know. So she wanted to made us all think that Jax is kind of like a sadist, right? Like he's bad news, he's a bad guy, and he is. And I think that you see that really in book one, and in book two, you see that great character moving forward. And I think that ending in a way, like either you ended it with them separated because the curse is there and Jax is still bad news, or you need to make him good and make him real soft. And I like that part, but I want them together, but I would have accepted an ending in which they ended not together, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's so
I know,
sad
I
though.
know, I know, I know, but
Especially because this book just talks about how many people that might have actually loved him that he kissed and that they died. Like, this
yeah,
poor guy has gone through it and he probably thinks he's like gonna break the curse. And then how many women did it take until he was like, I'm never gonna try this again?
yeah, that's very sad.
Yeah.
I I mean, Jax is he is amazing.
I think she does still have one scar left at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed, agreed.
Yeah.
What do you thought about the ending? Not just the proper ending of the curse being broken, but how things unfolded.
I didn't love I feel like the what were they called? Not the Veils. I feel like that family played a much bigger role than I anticipated them playing
Mm-hmm.
in I mean, they started to play a bigger role in the Ballad of Never After, obviously,
Yeah,
when they open everything. But like the sister being the one that actually put the curse, I just felt like that was a very easy way to
agreed.
explain the curse. I feel like there could have been that was I don't know. I just wanted that to be a little bit more of a build up and like a mystery. And
Yeah,
instead, she's just reading a journal and is like, "Oh, that's how the curse like was put upon him."
yeah,
So, yeah.
agreed. Agreed. I thought I really liked how the book started, actually. I really took a lot of notes of how she was discovering how she felt and this dissonance between what she supposed to know or about Apollo and how she felt. And I thought that was very interesting and everything. And then it come to a point in which the story was going slow but good pacing, and then things unfolded super fast for
Yeah.
me. And it's like memories back, and then I'm fighting for my love, and then Lala is here, and then the veil suddenly I'm going to play a role, the valor, the veils, well,
Yes.
and then let's go to the tree, I'm going to go faster, and this is done, but I will kiss you, kiss bye. And
And that's kind of what I meant when I said felt very YA. It just
yeah,
went from event to event, and there was a time where I only had 20 minutes left of the audiobook, and I was like, "How are they gonna sum up everything in 20 minutes?" Like,
yeah,
they did, but it was just a very it just went from event to event. Like, we needed a little bit more going on.
yeah. I thought the book was fairly short. I could have
It could have been
accepted.
longer. It definitely could have been longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like 330 pages or something like that. I don't know if it is the shortest, but for a conclusion, where things are so messed up, like you start the book and it's like unraveling the whole events of book two. I would have expected something more in
I
terms of
also
breakdown.
with Apollo I'm sorry, I just cut you off. With Apollo, I feel like he never really loved Evangeline until this last book. Like, I mean, he had a curse and he was like kind of forced to love her. But
Yes.
then when the Archer curse is lifted, he's like, oh, I still wanted her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like from the curse. I just thought that was interesting. Because, like, why wouldn't you, like, kind of in the first book, kind of hint that he actually did, like, find her attractive, like, really start liking her? So it makes a
Yes.
little bit more sense in the third book. And third
Yeah.
book, like, why are you obsessed with this girl? Like,
Yeah.
let her live her life.
Yeah. I actually thought that the curse was still with him because he was
Yeah,
like, if it is not with me, better she dies, kind of deal.
yeah. He
And
was
that's
like
like,
obsessed. And I didn't get that vibe from the first book. I was
no.
just like, oh man, Apollo's really going through it. He just keeps having curse after curse put on him. But
Yeah.
like I didn't think he was a bad guy. And then to get to this third book where his character like really shifts and is just evil was
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. I I thought Apollo could have had a little bit more of morally, like being a little bit more morally gray.
Yes.
I I thought that was what we were gonna have with his point of view. I started not obviously liking, but seeing how he reasoned all the events, how he was like, no, but I'm sure Evangeline's gonna be better. Like I hate when they are like, I know better than she, so that her, so I'm gonna do whatever. But I thought we were going to be reading he messing, with our minds and just he being convinced that things were not as bad. But it was that, but very, very, very superficial. Like
Yeah.
she keeps escaping. No,
Darn. I think
exactly.
she's getting her memories back. Oh no.
Exactly. Do you have more of that potion? I think I might need it. So it's like,
Yeah, and then when I do like the fact that unlike kind of like Farah, but I also feel like Akatar was a lot more drawn out, and we got to see Tamlin
yes,
change. Like we got to see him as
exactly.
like the good guy, and then we
Exactly.
got to see
Yes.
what caused him to be like that. But what I appreciate about Evangeline is she right away is like, you just said I wasn't being kept here, and now you're not letting me leave. Like, what is going on? And I
Yeah.
feel like Farah, it took her a lot longer to be like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Evangeline also had the situation in which her feelings, like her body, all the time was kind of like reacting to Apollo.
Yeah.
So she had, like Farah, I think she was kind of like attracted from the beginning. So it's not necessarily the same. But Evangeline was like, I know I should be happy, but
I'm
I
not.
but I feel scared or I feel like something is off. And when she meets Jax, she's like, oh, Archer,
Yeah.
stop it.
Cute.
Yeah.
I
So
also love how Apollo is just like painting Jax as this evil monster and is only showing his silhouette on the wanted posters because like if you actually showed him, like he's a very attractive guy.
yeah. But again, that felt like slightly like mm, like Apollo all the time. I don't want to say young because again, I don't feel that necessarily is young, but it feels even middle grade for me. Like having one of the main point of view, the one that is supposed to be a villain, always having like, no, it's Jax. He's the bad one all the time. It was like,
All of the evidence points to it not being him, but he's the bad one.
and I will kill you, and just a silhouette, that kind of stuff. It was like, yeah, it did not help for me to like the story as much.
Agreed. Even when she got her memories back, I was feeling okay. I felt it was too far into the book that they came back. I'm okay with when she got her memories back because I feel like it actually like I thought it was going to be a lot more drawn out, and I was
Mhm.
really hoping that wasn't the case. So
Yeah,
I was happy she got her memories back like kind of early on.
yeah. I agree. I did not expect that to happen that fast though.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember now what was the trigger, but it was like I wanted to remember and then I did.
Oh yeah, I don't actually remember how she got him back either. Now that I think about it, she does. There is something that causes it.
I really think that
Oh,
yeah, I think like
she
she's
reads the note. She reads the note that Jax had. Right? Is that how she gets her memories back?
yes. I think that's the starting, yes. And I think that from that, but like that's the beginning. And she's like, okay, I want to know more. And I think that again, the point of the story is that if you want something really, really, really like a lot, you can get it, which is very hopeful and it's beautiful, honestly. But
I wanted her to pretend to have memory loss. That would have been smart.
yeah, she tried, right? To
Yeah.
say, but it was like so bad,
Yeah.
which totally relate. I
Oh, yeah.
could not like after you know that, it's like, okay, if you're fine or neutral with that person, you're fine. But if you know that he's the villain for you, you're like, uh-huh.
I also like this dark tone of, like, all of his not mentors, but all of the people, his, like, counsel being like, "You need to impregnate her, like, right now," and he's like, "But she doesn't remember me," and they're like, "Does it matter?"
Yeah,
Like, I was like, "That's kinda dark."
it is. It is dark. But at least he behaved like, well, she doesn't remember. I will wait a little bit.
Yeah. So I
He was like,
appreciated that. That's one of the nicer things Apollo did throughout this book.
yes, it's something. It's something. I really like though the point of view or the small things that we got of Lala.
So did I. I feel like do you think there's gonna be a spinoff with her? Because it seemed to kinda do, like, a love triangle between
Yes,
Dragon Shifter and then,
chaos.
Chaos. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's gonna be the next story as the epilogue ends. It's like more stories are going to be brewing, and I think it's Lala's. So, I think I saw that from someone, so it's probably not even my idea. But but I would love Stephanie really writing a love triangle, but really wanting a love triangle, like
Yes. Where, like,
making it hard for the readers.
I
Actually,
love those, and I feel like they're so rare, but I love
yeah,
them when that actually happens.
yeah, yeah. I think she has all the potential to write an amazing love triangle. Like if she can do the angst of the Ballad of Never After,
Yeah.
she can definitely manage that.
But I feel like I already kind of am leaning towards Chaos because we kind of know him
Agreed.
more
Yeah,
already.
agreed.
But he did also kill Evangeline at one point, so
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think it's gonna be chaos. I hope.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
Chaos.
that was great. And I don't know which points, but how do you feel about Aurora?
Is that this which one's Aurora? Is that the
The daughter? I think. Well, I'm not sure if she's a daughter, but I want to talk about the daughter. Of
Veil the one that put the curse on everybody?
yes,
Okay, she was horrible.
yeah. Did you expect her to be horrible from the beginning?
I knew she was right away, I knew she was one of the people from um, the Arch. Like, I assumed she was, like, one of the family members. I wasn't expecting her to be the one that put the curse on Jax and, like, all of that, like, not at all.
Yeah, agreed. I think same. I wanted her to be like kind of like a friend in the beginning when she needs to decide who to follow. She is distrusting, but I was hoping for something more or something else there.
Yeah, I think I wanted it to be more of a betrayal, and we didn't
Mhm.
really get that. We kinda knew something was up with her. They
Yeah.
were they were dropping hints really early, so, like, you knew not to trust her, but I would have liked if it was, like, a close like, she was really kinda like Ianthe, but
Mhm.
even more, like, really, like, close, like, helped her out, and then you find
Yeah.
out that actually she's been working against her the whole time. I
Yeah.
think that would have been
Yeah.
more impactful.
It is so interesting that you keep taking references from
I
a
know,
both useless because no, but I've never thought about that, and I actually think that when you bring those similarities, like yes, that's actually like very accurate, So definitely, I don't know if an inspiration, but
yeah,
hmm,
I wonder if that was kind of, like, in the background.
yeah,
Jax in the previous books always saved her, that's what I missed. He knew Apollo was lying to her, and he didn't do much.
yeah. But did he know that it was Apollo the one that took her memories? I don't think so.
No, he doesn't. He thinks that the curse took them when he saved her. I think he finds himself responsible for her memories being gone because he thinks in saving her life, the curse took her memories.
Okay, yeah. But does he know that Apollo is bad news? Like
Yeah,
real,
I
bad
don't
news.
think so because he weren't they friends in like the first book?
Yeah, I'm not sure if friends, but Apollo feels betrayed. So
Yeah, so at least
we agree.
acquaintances. Like I don't think Jax thought badly of Apollo. Like I think he did trust Apollo to like take care of Evangeline. And Evangeline in the first book wanted Apollo. Like that was her
Yeah,
goal, so I think he thought he was doing the best.
yeah. Never mind that he knew. I actually, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but in watching, because obviously he was kind of stalking her, like we said, the kind of creepy. I feel like he would have realized that Apollo was not the best.
mm. It's like he should have realized as soon as he saw that he was being chased by Apollo, like and
Yeah,
framed for murder of the little child in the village, or it was a village, or
yeah. But I
So
also think he might have thought Chaos did that
yeah,
because doesn't Apollo like make it seem like the kid killed himself?
yeah, yes,
Yeah, so I
mm,
think maybe that is a possibility. But yeah, I Apollo really went evil in this book.
yeah. And do you think that Evangeline changed as a character?
Yes, I do.
How
What do
do you
you
see that?
think about her even in the very first book going to a fate to stop the wedding? I feel like if you know someone is your true love, then you shouldn't have to go to a fate. So I
Mm,
feel like in the beginning she is kind of immature and doesn't really know like what love is.
yeah, I actually like. I'm having a little bit of a trouble linking what we know of Evangeline from first book
To
with
this one.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think that in this one she's like all hope, all things will turn out good, love, it's powerful. And in book one she was not dark, but she was kind of like things are not going my way. I felt she was very imperfect in a very relatable way. And she was like, I'm not having love, so I'm going for love in a way that I should not. And I feel that's not the same, Evangeline.
No. Yeah, I feel like she did as like the story progressed, she really did change. And that could be because she has
Fell
that
in love.
connection with Jax and fell in love, but also there is a big jump between book one of Evangeline and this Evangeline.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Agreed.
Thank you. I hope
Hi.
you're having a splendid day as well.
Yay. We are.
One scene I thought though that was so sad was when Evangeline, when she gets stuck in her best memory and it's like her parents getting ready for the birthday party. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so sad.
It was very sad. Yeah. I yeah. I did not cry, but I was very close. Yeah. And how you keep hearing the parents like, no, no, don't come here. Love, like we're going there. And she's like, what is happening? And also, did we get which memory is Jack's? Like, is he reliving the night that he
I
had with
think that's what's implied, yeah, is that he's at that was adorable too. Isn't it? Like, so cute, and you would have been okay with them not ending up together.
No, no, I would have been broken, but I'm not super satisfied now. I'm like kind of open to all the things.
Also, is there a vampire just on the loose right now?
It's
A
that one.
a vampire? The, not Chaos, her ex-boyfriend.
Ah, yeah. Look, yeah.
Yeah, is he just running around at the end of
I don't
this?
know. We never got anything about him, right?
They
Or
tried
no, he's
blaming
gone.
him. Yeah, they tried blaming him for something, and they're like, "We need to catch him," and then it's never mentioned again.
No, no, I don't know why. Yeah, you're right.
I can
I
understand
can.
why Evangeline changed her memories were gone, but I didn't like the change in Jax. I can see
Yeah,
why too, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't love that at all.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So cruel. Yeah. Did they kind of like relieve, or I'm not sure if it was just my imagination wanted this to happen, but in book two, we have this scene where Jax is taking Evangeline from the water, right? And he is taking her to the hollow. And
Yes.
in this book, it was kind of like a similar scene at the beginning, right? When she's drowning. And I
No, go ahead, keep saying what you're saying.
no, I was gonna say that I thought that it we were having kind of like the same scene and how she was imagining, everything, and I thought it was sweet. But then I reflected, like, is it me thinking this or is it happening?
No, in her head, she gets a brief memory of that moment when he takes her out of the water. I think she like thinks back to that memory
Mhm.
of him walking with her, and she's like, "Oh my god, a memory," and then it's gone, and she loses it again. But
Okay.
yeah, that does happen.
Okay, yeah.
That's a great question too. Where's
Where's
Marisol?
my soul? I don't know.
We don't know.
No. I Yeah, I think obviously it's a little bit mean to say that it was not written like as good as the Ballad of Never After, because things are very different. The pressure is tremendous in concluding a series. It's never, I imagine, easy. Yeah, it felt very different overall. I loved the feeling of ending the Ballad of Never After. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm mad with myself for not rereading the book before reading book three, just because it was so amazing.
I honestly think it might have been more of a letdown because I didn't reread it either. But I feel like had I read The Ballad of Never After and then jumped right into this book, I probably would have been kind of annoyed. Just
Yeah.
because the Ballad of Never After just has almost a different tone. Like,
Yeah.
it's still fairy tale and whimsical, but it also has those, like, darker, more, like,
Agreed.
intense moments.
And the adventure as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's trying to see what she is gonna do. She's learning about the magic that she can do. And she's like, I'm going to open this and that and the doors. And this one was a quest to recover her memories and then a quest to get Jack back, which it's fair, but
And I almost feel like it could have been 4 books and the memories be their own entire
yeah.
book, and then you find out at the end that Jax had given up his heart, and then we have an entire book of like. But also, while you were talking, I was thinking about the Ballad of Never After. I feel like it's almost like a puzzle. Like, you're given so many hints as to what could happen, and I feel like in this last book, we're just told everything. Like, it's not, which I guess it is the last book we have to eventually get the conclusion, but I feel like it was kind of like shoved in our face instead of like
Yeah.
you having to think and put it all together.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably, yeah. I agree. I am
I read it just before the third.
yeah.
Yeah, there was barely any one bed. I know the Ballad of a Never After had the one bed for like
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Why can she open doors? Yeah, because she's magical. I
Oh my
love that
god,
that this is the answer to everything.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. How can she open the doors?
I know that it's because of her blood, but the why?
Why? Why does her
She's
blood let her do that?
magical. No, I mean, I know.
Oh my
I
god,
don't
this
know.
discussion is literally making me drop. It might be 3.5 stars for me too because I thought just the curse was unanswered, but we've now gone into a lot of unanswered things.
No, yeah. I think it's because in the north previously there was this magic, right? A lot of magic in the land, and that magic started to disappear. And I think that people in the north have more magic. That's the same with the Bales or whatever the name of this
Yeah.
family is. So we never learn why Aurora. I'm not sure if the name is Aurora, but the daughter has that much magic. Why is she able to curse people? Like,
Yeah.
why is she that powerful? And we don't know that, right? Like, what is that family, like, all of them have kind of like a special power. We don't know that either. And yeah, I'm all for soft magic systems in which you don't necessarily understand how things happen, but the why, a little bit.
I'm fine with soft magic systems, but you need to like you can't I don't know. I feel like there's too many like unanswered things with you
Yeah,
could have very easily said she has the blood that's descended from whatever family and that is why she's able to open. Like, it's a
yeah,
one line explanation that could have been thrown in there.
yeah.
And I would have accepted that without any questions, but just to
Mhm.
like really not get any sort of explanation is frustrating. And I'm also still kind of annoyed about the apples now that you guys pointed that out. I want to know the significance to the apples.
We're not gonna know on
Is it
purpose. Like
because he's an archer and archers like shot at like apples? Could that be?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Did you follow? Because I think this is going a little bit outside the proper topic, but I loved how Stephanie prompted everyone to read this book. I don't know if you followed how she was teasing people every week with little details about the book. Did you follow that?
No.
So she started doing kind of like these little games, I guess, and she got a sentence, and then you needed to say to see or to decide which was the villain that sentence belonged to, like Jax or Apollo.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see that.
And like it was not, and obviously she did not resolve that like at the moment of the poll, like afterwards, some of them, but it was very interesting like how she started trying to level both of them as being villains. So I thought that was like a master strategy in terms of getting people excited about her book.
Yeah.
um
And good foreshadowing that he
yeah,
was gonna really take a darker
agreed. Yeah, yeah,
turn.
yeah, yeah. Agreed, agreed, agreed.
This is interesting. Someone said on TikTok that the publishers asked her to rewrite it and she only had 2 months. She only had Apollo's POV and not Jack's.
What?
Don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
I mean, that would explain some things if that was the case.
But yes, but would you like why would you give Apollo a point of view, not Jack's?
Yeah. I think that possibly to show his motivations, but like you didn't need to give him so many chapters.
No, no, no. I feel those chapters were very repetitive in the
Like,
sense of
yeah, they were. I would have loved to see Jack's kind of his decision making to decide
yeah,
to give up his heart and
yeah,
like everything that went through his head mentally,
yeah,
because that way I
yeah,
can kind of like buy it a little bit more.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. I I don't know. I just keep thinking that she had the main idea of what happened in book two. Like she crafted the story thinking about the ending of book two, and I think afterwards she needed to conclude this. And she mentioned some like different at different points that it was very tough for her because she has gotten to a point in which things were kind of like tough to unravel. So I don't know if initially she had a duology planned or something. Because if you see that like as a duology, you can see how the memories can fade and maybe not totally something happened, whatever, and then memories are back and they are together. And then you have a duology that it's chunkier but could have worked. But
Yeah, I agree. I think that there were too many loose ends that she needed to tie up from the Ballad of Never After, and it just didn't
yeah,
execute it the way I think a lot of us
yeah,
would have preferred.
yeah,
Yes, I wanted to see his agony and giving up his heart. Yeah, I feel like that even seemed almost not out of character, but it just from where we ended book two, I just didn't see that happening.
agreed,
Unless
agreed.
it was to oh, I guess it was to save her because he gave up his heart in exchange for the bangle. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he is at a point in which is like, I've already given all for her, so I don't matter anymore. Like whatever is here, it's because of her, which is really sweet, of course. But mm.
I know. I wish it was a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I haven't checked because I really wanted to just don't see anything else before the live. But how are the reviews on Goodreads? Like how
I haven't even looked. So you're gonna get a live reaction.
Yeah, how's other people? Because I know that at least some people are kind of like frustrated as well. But I can imagine a lot of people also being happy that I don't
It
know.
has a pretty good it has 4.2.
Okay.
It's pretty good. With
Hmm.
over 40,000 ratings.
Yeah. I saw it it was last week, I think, top two in most sold books according to the New York Times list. So
The Ballad of Never After has almost 4.6, and it has 100, almost 120,000 ratings.
120, yeah.
Yeah, well deserved.
Agreed. Agreed. I can now only think on Fourth Wing.
And Once Upon a Broken Heart has the lowest score at 411.
Really? Yeah. But that to me makes sense because if you don't like the story, like, I think
Sequel
the,
always do better because it's someone who liked the first book and they want to
exactly,
go on to the second. Yeah.
like you're already biased, yes.
Yeah.
But is it like you have a lot of 1 star or 2 stars and then a lot of 5? Or how's that going? Wait, I can check it as well. Development there. Because
There's a lot of 5 and 4 stars. There's not a lot of ones.
no. Okay. Okay. I love that people is loving it.
It's weird though, because I feel like all of the people that have DM'd me as soon as they saw I finished it have been negative. I
Yeah.
don't think I had a single person be like, I loved it.
Yeah. I'm just saying very quickly, and you're right. There's a lot of 5 star, but
Yeah.
there's also a fair amount of 3 stars, like 3.5, 4 stars, like meh, it was fine. So I think like it will not be like a hated book. It's not that polarizing, but probably the end will, right? Don't you feel like either you really like the ending or you're like meh?
Yeah. I wanted to see if anyone else who gave it a 1-star review kind of was like, why didn't you answer all of these questions? It seems to be a lot of the main critiques are very rushed.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. I'm seeing that, yes.
And then a lot of people also saying, I waited months for Evangeline and Jax and I got Apollo, which fair complaint.
Yeah, yeah. Are you gonna read anything else from Stephanie Garber?
I mean, if she comes out with a new series, I do want to eventually reread Caraval and then continue that series just to see if I like it. Um,
Mhm.
and also because I know Jax is in there and I don't remember. Was he even in the first book or no?
No,
Okay.
I think it's starting book 2 onwards. Yeah, because the whole story of fates and all of that happens in book 2, I think.
Okay. The previous two were so good. People just love the series as a whole. Yeah. I mean,
Same,
yeah,
same.
same.
Yeah, I feel I recommended this series to a lot of people, and now I really feel responsible. Like, no.
I hate I hate when that happens. When like you recommend a series and then it kind
Hmm.
of goes downhill and you're like, darn.
Yeah, I still believe like it's a very solid read if you want something that goes fast. That it's you know
If you had to pick between this series and Hollow Vows, which would you pick?
this one, this
Same,
one,
same.
yeah, this one. Um, but again, a very good similarity. I think how I feel with how I felt with book 2 in the detail of vows. I don't know which
It's
was the
how I
name.
felt with this last book. It was just like event, conclusion.
Yeah, yeah, same. Like in the beginning, it was like a lot, which was good. But then if the remaining of the book, the proper plot goes really fast, it's like it's not balanced. The pacing felt broken, but very fair. Fair. I'm trying to think about other young adult series like Belladonna, for example. Um,
Well, Belladonna is a book that I feel like started off so strong, and the second book was just like
I
it was
know,
fine,
I know, I
but the
know.
first book was so good.
Yes, I know. I know. I actually think that, well, I was thinking about this lately. I'm not sure if it's true, but that what Adeline Grace, the author of Belladonna, is trying to do with that series, it's very similar to what it was done with Caraval. So, like in Caraval, book 1 follows one character, one of the sisters mainly. In book 2, you change sister, and then you follow both, but you follow the second sister. And I think she's doing that a little bit with Blythe.
Which I
Uh,
didn't appreciate because
agreed.
I didn't want Blythe, I wanted Cigna. So,
Agreed. Agreed.
which is why I ended up, like, not loving that book because I feel like I wasn't expecting so much. I knew there was gonna be an added POV, I just didn't think that added POV was gonna be the majority of the book.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're setting up the romance for book 3 with Fate. And
Yes, definitely. I agree
mm,
with that.
yeah, which young adult series or trilogy or standalone or whatever would you recommend?
So
Like that it was perfect.
I always say Once Upon a Broken Heart, and now I don't know if I can have that as like my go-to. I feel like it still probably is.
Yes,
I don't know.
I honestly think that once the time passes a little bit, I will feel more chilled, more happy with not knowing a lot of stuff, and that I will still see the whole trilogy of Once Upon a Broken Heart, like with the overall feeling that it was
The
great.
world is just so it's
Yeah,
so fairy tale, and I just love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I would probably say Throne of Glass because I think that is considered young adult.
Yes, it is. I was going to say the same. I think that's a very, very, very solid read.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of spice, but like the romances are still so so good, and
yeah,
the adventure, and I feel like the world building is done very well. So it's probably Throne of Glass. Like if I had to pick a young adult series,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like young adult series are kind of notorious for not ending well.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I I have two in mind that I really, really loved. The first one, it's Shadow of the Fox, by Julie Garber. I'm not sure if you've read it.
I
No.
haven't.
It's like very it's just beautiful. It's young adult at its best, honestly. It's a quest and it's um Asian inspired, this beautiful Japanese feudal setting, and it's basically a quest. So you go like from boss to boss to boss, and it's really written in a way that feels like a video game. And the character, it's like the characters are so so amazing. Like it, I love it. And that trilogy, phenomenal. And then sorry, I just read this comment. And then Fireborn, like the Aurelian Cycle, which
Yeah,
has been that one. Yeah,
I have to finish that. I did read the second book, but I didn't read the third book. So
you're gonna cry.
I know I cried in the first book and the second book. I think is the second book with the beginning of the second book. Something sad happens. Is that the sister? Or is that the yeah, that wrecked me.
Yep,
So,
yep.
yeah. But yes, Iron Flame better not disappoint me. I
Yeah.
completely agree with you here.
And how do you feel about that? Because I think like Fourth Wing was released this year.
Yes.
Iron Flame as well.
I will say she is a romance author and she does put out books pretty frequently. So I think it'll be okay. I hope. I am just concerned about doing the trope we discussed earlier that we both said we didn't like. I'm worried about that happening
Hmm.
in Iron Flame, and I really hope that doesn't happen because we have more important things to worry about than that.
I think something like that's gonna happen.
I know it's totally gonna happen, but I really hope it doesn't.
I saw an interview and she was like people was telling her like what an interesting choice to get the characters. I'm not one to say any spoiler, but like close, as close, and saying like that romantic things in book one.
And then
And
yeah,
this
and
is
yeah,
yeah, like I don't know if this is gonna be like a 5 long books
she said it was
series.
gonna be yeah, I think it was gonna be 5 to 7 books, but
So
I
and
think she's gonna do you remember A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire?
yeah,
Like, I think it's gonna be a similar, like
yeah. She actually answered like something like I wanted them to be close and to have a solid foundation before all the
before I
stuff
break
happened.
it.
Yes, and I was like,
Have it.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Just keep building. I understand that once that you get to that point, it's not as interesting to have a couple that is just like fine. But I love
I
that.
think if it's done well, it can be though, and I think that's the issue is, like, a lot of fantasy romance really relies on that tension
Mm,
of these, like, 2 people, like, needing to be together, and then once they come together, it kind of, like, goes downhill, and I'm worried that
yeah.
I'm DNFing if you're talking about what I think. No, no. I'm teeing
Mhm.
up when you were talking about what I think you were talking about with Dane. No, that's not that. I don't
No,
think that's happening.
no, ooh, no. No, no, no.
Oh, if that happens, I will have thoughts.
Can you imagine if she
Does that?
does a classic Sarah J. Maas and it's like the one in book one, it's not the one. Can you imagine?
I would be so mad. I would be so mad.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Although I
Hopefully.
really, really want her, I want SJM to do that with the series that she's currently putting out because not loving that love interest. So I would love for her to do her normal thing, but I don't think
Mm,
she does. I think she actually said in an interview that that love interest is for keeps.
no.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, hope not.
Yeah. No, I don't. That would be such an interesting move on her part if she did that.
Yeah. But I saw a comment somewhere that it was like a theory about Dane being the enemy in the enemies to lovers trope. And I was like,
Mm,
mm,
nah.
mm,
Nope.
mm,
Nope.
I know. No, better not.
No. No. Especially, I just feel like that such an invasion of privacy to then have that person like there's no I don't think there's any coming back from that that I would be okay with. Like,
Agreed. But fourth wing, it's not young adult, right? It's
no,
categorized
that's
as
adult.
adult. Yeah.
It
Is it?
feels very young adult.
Yeah, yeah. I really think like fourth wing, it's a phenomenon on itself. Like why it has went to the point in which it is right now with as many ratings, with as many stars. Like it has 4.65. It is well, I checked this 2 days, 3 days ago, so it might have changed. But that days ago, a quarter of yeah, it was higher than any book from Sarah J. Maas in the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy.
So that's
Even more than A Court of Mist and Fury.
yeah,
Even more. And it had like it almost has 500,000 ratings.
that's insane. So I love like I liked Fourth Wing, but I don't think it's worthy of the amount of hype that it is receiving. Like it's good. I gave it 5 stars, but I'm picking A Court of Mist and Fury over it every day
Yeah. It
without
is such a phenomenon. It's so interesting, honestly. Like so interesting.
I'm trying to okay, yeah. So A Court of Mist and Fury is at 4.64
Yes.
and Fourth Wing
3 days ago it was 4.65.
is at let's say it's loading. 4.65. That is insane.
I know. It is. But it is same like I am just so mind blown at this. It has the same rating as Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson.
Wow.
Same rating, Brandon Sanderson. Like a lot of people likes him.
No one beats Reese for me. That
Yeah,
is so
agreed.
unbelievably true.
Agreed.
Okay, we went off topic. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think we covered
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
No,
So
yeah.
I think I'm gonna drop my rating down to 3.5 after this conversation.
No, I'm sorry. I really want us to like that. I It was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and I think really that it was a very tough book to write after how things ended and how everyone loved the drama, but everyone wants a good ending. So how you balance both, I think, is very difficult. So yeah, I just
Yeah. Oh well. Well, thank you all who came and joined us for
thank
this
you.
chat. Thank
Yeah.
you for those who are going to watch us on the replay. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Yay! Bye.
Bye.